Good morning to all. Ready for the session? Today's paper is also a quite challenging paper. What do you say? This is what you can expect. A very good paper, quite challenging for two reasons. Questions are not easy and so many sets of questions, like columns only two and some other set two or three. That means you have to work very fast for each set differently. I'll start with the first one. First two questions about what? Columns. Rather easy. I'll read the first one. The amount owed by willful defaulters to Indian banks is expected to fall back to earth. Are they related? No. According to researchers, aerospace related? No. Has risen more than tenfold over the past decade. That means what? A and F, they form one pair. Yes? A new huge piece of Chinese space junk is expected to fall back to Earth by the end of July. This is also perfect. That means what? B and D. The rocket body is expected to stay afloat for a week, according to researchers at the Aerospace Corporation Center. This is also right. That means what is the answer? Second option is the answer. Very easy. Only thing you have to read carefully. Question number 2. California will no longer be able to mandate, underline the word mandate, write the other word form mandatory. Mandatory means what? Compulsory. Very good. Write the word mandatory and write compulsory. California will no longer be able to mandate that charities disclose their donors to the state as a matter of course. A bit difficult. The three dissenting, underline the word dissent, already have got the Hindu. Means what? Oppose. Within a group, some people oppose. There's a dissent in the group. Dissenting justices strongly disagreed with both the majority's approach to the law and its reading of the facts. This seems right. Hold this one. Justice Sonia Sotomayor wrote that the plaintiffs, underline the word plaintiff, write the meaning. One who files a case, one who files, I have given many a time, one who files a case in the court of law. The other person is called a defendant. You file a case, what are you called? Plaintiff. We have got many a time this word. And what is the next one? Plaintiffs failed to show that California's law had actually burdened their right to association. All the three seem to be right, but the first one is a little difficult to make out. Which option says A, and what is the first one you thought of? D. How many options with A, D? Only one option or two options? Two options. But B also right, the combination C also right. Means what is the answer? The first option is the answer. This is also easy to answer. Time taking. These are quite challenging. How many questions? Word swap or correct order, 3 questions. One is difficult, third one is difficult. Second one to some extent you can manage. Great administration work. Use your grammar knowledge. Administration singular or plural? Can you use a plural verb? That means you cannot use the word administration. How many options with a plural noun? Only one option, I suppose. Which one is that? C. How many options begin with C? It should be either the fourth one or the fifth one. But let us check. Great expectations were entertained of the satisfaction of. Further satisfaction would have been better. And here there's something wrong with grammar part, whatever the word you're going to choose. But let us go with, what is the first one here? Entertained of the administration does not make the right combination. And in the last option, D, what is D here? Entertained of the ability of president. Let us go with this and cross-check. President Pellegrini to establish sound administration, and he succeeded in forming a ministry which gave general satisfaction throughout the country. This seems right. Very difficult under pressure, but this is the answer. How many of you have got this one right? Very good. Next one, he embraced the name of Muhammad when he assumed. At the outset, you may think the first word is right. But when you go to B, assume the Muslim faith, not the right combination. Faith you embrace. Embrace means what? Underline the word embrace. Embrace means to accept, to welcome, or also right to follow, to accept, to follow, to practice, all these. They embraced the new policy. Means what? They accepted the new policy and they started implementing the new policy. That means you have to be damn sure about here B should be the word. What is the word? A. How many options in the second position A? Your bad luck, too many options. But let us go to, he assumed the name of Muhammad when he embraced the Muslim faith and on account of his military prowess. Prowess, underline an important word. Prowess means what? Great ability or great skill. Great ability or great skill. He signifies. Can you use the word he signifies? No. He obtained. Seems right. Hold that one. He obtained the surname Alp Arslan, which signifies a valiant lion. You can be damn sure about B. B in the second position. Am I right? Embraced what? Muslim faith. B in the second position. And A or B? I'm sorry, A in the second position. And what is the last word here? Signifies in the last position. Which option says that? Answer is the fourth option. If at all you have a doubt, but otherwise you should get once you read. And again, not that easy under pressure. Shall I go to the next one? Last one is, third one is very difficult, but one word will act as a clue for you. If you know that word, based on the options, you can get the answer in 1 second. Tell me what is that word? How many of you know the meaning of the word fleet? Please write, underline the word fleet. That is a clue for you. When we talk about fleet has two different meanings. One meaning, a group of ships. It is a collective noun. We say fleet of ships. When it comes to aeroplanes, we use the word squadron of aeroplanes. These two words are very important. Fleet of ships, squadron of aeroplanes. But fleet has another meaning. Imagine someone has about 50 buses or 25 buses. He is a tour operator. And then he can also say, I have a fleet of 25 buses. It also goes with buses, remember. But typical meaning, it goes with ships. Based on that, if at all you know the meaning, then a large fleet is engaged in the, what are the words that go with ships? Can you use manufacture? No. Can you use adulterating? That goes with food items. Can you use tanning? That goes with skin, leather. And what is the last one? Fisheries. Fisheries, what do you need? Obviously, ships. Yes or no? That means A is what? First word is what? Fishery. How many options begin with A? Yes? Let us go to, I will read the sentence, then we'll cross-check. A large fleet is engaged in the fisheries and a great number of factories extract the oil for what? Tanning. Write the meanings of all these words, then everything falls in place. Here, no, I told you if you know one word, you can get the answer. So what is the first word here? D. How many options begin with D? That is your answer. I am not bothered about the answer. You have to know the words only, then you get the answer. Only the answer, what purpose does it serve? It doesn't serve any purpose whatsoever. So fleet, you got the meaning. Manufacture, you know. There are some important words here. Please write the word adulterating. Adulterate is a verb form. Adulteration, noun form. How many of you know the meaning of the word adulterate? Very good. What does it mean to make impure? To make something impure. In milk, they add water. That is adulteration. In rice, they add stones. That is adulteration. Have you got an idea? In oil, in petrol, they mix something. That is adulteration. So adulteration has another meaning, but I will not talk about that in this context. Let us go to the next word. What is the next word here? Tanning. How many of you know the meaning of the word tanning? Raise your hands. It has different meanings altogether. One meaning in the south today, if you take those who are not fair, they use a particular cream, and because of that a company has made crores of rupees. Which company is that? Fair and Lovely. Tanning, they want to look fair. That is impossible. Fair or dark, genetic. Creams can change, everyone will change, yes or no? But if you go to the Western countries, the opposite. They look very pale from the close quarters. They want to get tanned. For that, either they go to a beach or they use a cream like Fair and Lovely here, tanning over there. That is one meaning. Tanning means one meaning. Get the brown shade, please write. Brown shade of your skin or brown complexion. Complexion, you have to use words like fair complexion, dark complexion. You should not use words like white or black, not acceptable, common error. Have you got the first meaning? But this, not this meaning, it has another meaning. And the second meaning goes with the question and the context. Write the second meaning. To that word, you add the word industry, tanning industry. Tanning industry means leather industry. Today we have belts, we have purses, we have wallets made of what? Leather. And that industry, they take the skin of an animal and they clean. That is called tanning, a process. And the industry is known as tanning industry. Do you know this meaning? Okay, tanning industry deals with what? Leather. And after cleaning, they make the products. But there's one important word you have to know. Write the word hide. H-I-D-E, hide. What is the meaning? I should not ask you, you all know hide and seek. But here hide means skin of an animal. Please write, skin of an animal. And there's a particular brand, if you go to any mall, you come across a particular shop that deals with belts, bags, purses, wallets, hide sign. Have you seen that any time? That is the name of a brand, very popular brand, international brand. Anyhow, what is the meaning of the word hide? Skin of an animal. Other words are rather easy. And shall I go to the next set of questions? What are these about? Parajumble. Parajumble broadly, there is one particular concept. What does it talk about? The paragraph talks about what? How many of you have read the passage, a paragraph? Parajumble, raise your hands. What does it talk about? One concept. Nation, yes or no? There are 4 sentences that refer to that particular concept. That means 4 sentences one group and 2 sentences one group. 4 plus 2 total 6. And let us start with, we'll take elimination approach. But you have to read all. First one, does it talk about the concept, actual concept the paragraph deals with? No. Mark it, don't consider. Second one, underline the word, the idea that a nation should, underline the word. Perhaps, hold that one. This was a time when a new kind, here you don't come across the word nation, don't consider. And what is the next one? In its, underline its, pronoun cannot be the first one. It, pronoun cannot be the first one. And the last one is what? Introduces what exactly the writer wants to convey. The term nation was drawn by the English language during its historical phase known as Middle English from the Latin root nationem, signifying birth and ancestry. So beyond any doubt, when you go through all the parts, you have to know what is the first one here. F is the first one. Then second one, in its semantic trajectory, underline the word semantic, write the meaning. Semantic means two dimensions. One related to language in this context, related to language. Semantic means what? It talks about the language, English literature. Second one related to logic, L-O-G-I-C, related to logic. In its semantic trajectory, trajectory means a direction. Actually, it goes with a path, trajectory of the orbit, trajectory of the satellite. Have you heard of that? It goes with space sciences. Semantic trajectory means direction. Within the English language, nation was initially rooted in the idea of belonging to a geographical area or location. So what is the second one here? D is the second one. Third one, it decidedly referred to an area, territory, and the people who inhabited it. Underline the word inhabited. So F, D, what is the next one? E. Inhabit means what? Live in a particular place. And when you come across as a smart learner, inhabitants, original inhabitants, there are some important words. First you write the word indigenous. Indigenous people means native or local or original inhabitants. But another important word, write the word aboriginals. Aboriginals also means the same. These two words are very important. Indigenous people, aboriginals, native people, local people, original inhabitants, all mean the same. Shall I go to the next one? And where else do you find the word nation? 3 already you have got. I said 4 are there. So what is the fourth one here? You have to respond. B is the next one. So what is the first one here? F is the first one, D is the second one, E is the third one. The idea that a nation, again the word nation is there. So B is the fourth one. Then the writer talks about slight deviation from this concept. What is the next one? This was a time when a new kind of longing for the past was emerging among the English painters and poets as a result of the devastation of the countryside due to rapid industrialization. C is the next one. And what is the last one? What are you left with? So it talks about poets. In that mood of nostalgia, ancient poets, they form a pair. Yes or no? Who has got this order? Raise your hands. Only 2 students. An easy one in my opinion. If at all, I appreciate those 2 students. Very good. Only thing you have to know, whenever you read a para-jumble, you ask the question, what is this about? What will stand out? Tell me. When you go through all the parts, you ask the question, what is this about? Concept of nation. So what is the first one? You cannot use a pronoun, and the idea that a nation, either B or F. But it's quite obvious, F is the first one because it starts with the term nation. Yes or no? Then pronoun. Then finally talks about a broader concept. Then sudden deviation. Some people, they wanted to think from a different angle. Last 2, they form one pair. Here, sitting here, I may say easy or difficult, but it all depends on what, under pressure, perhaps not easy. That's why I said today's paper, this is what you can expect in the actual exam. Perfect standards, I can say. Shall I go to the next set of questions? What is the question number? This is a new set again. Why is it a new set? We have got for the first time. You see a sentence and one word is not part of the context. In the following question, the sentence is given with 4 bold words. One of these words may be contextually incorrect. What does it mean? Odd man out. They are not part of the context. Have you read these? Don't, looking at your faces, I have my own doubts. Here, when I start, the way you look at me, I can make out whether you worked, you did not work. I have my own doubts anyhow. The basic thing, what are they trying to find out when you read a sentence? A particular word, not part of the context. Obviously incorrect. Let us see the first one. That amendment would penalize drug companies if they lodged authentic. Underline the word penalize. Penalize means what? Already we have got the Hindu. Punish. Write the word punish. That amendment would penalize, punish drug companies if they lodged authentic patent claims. Actually, you don't have to go beyond this. Authentic, write the meaning. Correct. I have given many a time. I also give the combination. Authentic news, one word. Authentic information. Authentic news. Someone tells you something, you ask, is that authentic? Means what? Is it correct? And once you get these, know the meanings of these two words, you don't have to read the sentence. Sheer common sense. If you do something good, will you be punished? So punish drug companies if they lodged authentic patent. The word should be fake. What is the word? When will they punish? If they produce or submit fake claims. So strike off the word authentic, in its place you write fake. Who has got this right? Not too many. Let us go to the next one. To overlook the victims, West Bengali scroll painters. I'm sure young generation, you all know the word scroll. I don't have to tell you, but it has two different meanings. Olden days, the king during the time of kings and queens, kingdoms, people would send messages from one place to another place, and the messenger would carry something, a wooden rod and a piece of cloth rolled. In front of the king, he would open it and read the message. Have you got the picture? That is what we call a scroll. Another meaning. I don't know the Telugu word for that, but the context talks about that. To overlook the victims, you cannot decide right or wrong. The West Bengali scroll painters, Joydev and Moina Chitrakar, created a ballad. Write the meaning of that. Many words you have to know. Ballad means short song or poem to tell a story in stanzas. Stanzas means not one time, different. Short song or poem to tell a story, that is called ballad. And a stunning picture scroll in the tradition of Patua, a form of narrative graphic art transforming the tragic news into an artful and poetic fable. Write the meaning of the word fable. Fable means, tale also means a story. And story, tale, fable, they all mean the same. Subtle differences. Fable means story with a moral and with animals as characters. You have animals in those stories as characters. You got an idea about a fable, and there's a story, a rabbit, the conversation. So what are the characters? Animals. And every fable has the most important thing, a moral. That is the important part. Now, coming to this question, I don't know how many of you could get the contextual awareness. It talks about some, underline the word victims. First you have to catch that word. When you come across victims, if you're a sensible person, you will try to do something for the victims or not. Or you remain stony or callous, you ignore and walk off. What do? You try to do something. Painters and poets are highly sensible. Because they look around, they are sensible, they bring out their feelings in the form of either a poem or a painting. Poets and painters are known for that. So the context talks about some victims, poets and painters, they wanted to do something and to bring out or to sympathize. This is the context. What is the first word here? Overlook. Imagine someone is suffering. I don't consider. I can also use, I overlooked their suffering. Means I ignored. So what do you think, the first word is right word or wrong word? Answer is the first word. Perhaps to sympathize with the victims. Here we don't know the word. But what I feel, to sympathize with the victims or to highlight the plight of the victims, definitely overlook does not go with the context. How many of you have got this one right? Only two students. See what I'm trying to, some students may not like when I ask the question, what is the score, who has got it right? But it is not to corner someone. It is not to trouble someone. Idea behind, to judge your standards one thing, and based on your standards, I will be able to give a few tips. That is our intention behind. Good intention, not bad intention. Now only two students could answer. I have been telling you guys, of late many questions are based on contextual awareness. Yes or no? A question like this, your grammar knowledge is of no use. When you read a sentence one time, no second reading. All these questions I read only once, no second reading, except that military, one person got obtained some name which means lion. Remember? Except that question I had to read twice. It was a bit challenging. Other questions only one reading. How could I do it? Because I know the context. I have the contextual awareness. Again, you should ask, sir, you have been teaching. No, not because of my teaching, because of my reading. I have been reading since my childhood. Reading is my hobby. And you all know I read the Hindu paper every day. I do the analysis. When you read what happens, the newspapers, magazines, you're exposed to a variety of contexts. That's what you have to get. And that takes 6 months to 9 months. It is not something that happens overnight. Grammar overnight. I can teach you grammar in one day. I taught IAS officers when I was in Delhi grammar in one day. A few IAS officers are friends of mine. They just wanted to be flawless. They said, why don't you teach the essential stuff related to English grammar, practical English grammar? Only one day. Why only one day? IAS officers, the IQ is different, yes or no? You all agree or you don't agree? So one day. For others, 1 week. Some people 1 month, maximum 2 months. But contextual awareness you cannot get in 1 month or 2 months. And I cannot teach you also. You have to read, you have to expose yourself to the language. And that is the most important thing you have to know. Shall I go to the next one? Council carers have refused to look after. Oh, now only two questions based on that pattern. See, this paper is quite challenging, I said at the outset, for two reasons. One reason, the questions are not easy to answer. That is one problem. The second problem, imagine 30 questions. 5 questions, 10 questions, 5 questions, 5 questions, 5 questions. How many? 10 plus, got it? That means how many models are here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Your mind works in a particular way. 5 questions, 1 model, easy. Again 5 questions, 1 model, easy. But in this paper, there's so many models. 2 questions, 1 model. Another 2 questions, 1 model. 3 questions, 1 model. Every time you're challenged, you have to change your mindset, you have to change your orientation. That is the second dimension which you have to keep in mind. Not easy under pressure. What are these questions about? Read the sentence to find out whether there is any grammatical error. How many questions? Please answer. Council carers have refused to look after her because she hurls torrents of abuse. There are 3 important words over here, but 2 are quite familiar. First one is what? Hurl. Hurl means, please write the meaning. It goes with, first write the word combination. Stones. Now you understand what does it mean? Throw, obviously. Throw stones. Pelt stones also we use. Write another word. P-E-L-T. Pelt stones. Have you guys got it? What is the next word over there? Torrents. Torrents actually goes with rains means heavy. Heavy rains, we say, I have given many a time. What do we say? Torrential rains. Does it sound familiar? Torrential rains. And we use the idiom that is also an important idiom, to rain cats and dogs. Heavy rain, torrential rains. And what is the third word here? Abuse. Abuse has three different meanings. One meaning, usual meaning, misuse. And what is the combination? Abuse of power, abuse of authority, abuse of position, abuse of resources. First meaning. Second meaning, ill-treat. Ill-treat someone. Abused child. Please write the combination. Abused child. Stepmother abuses a child, ill-treats a child, then what do you say? Abused child. And third meaning, to use foul language. What is the meaning of foul? I think we got yesterday. Bad language. He abused me. He shouted at me using bad words. Have you got all the three meanings? The third one goes with this context. She hurls torrents of abuse, not a little, a lot, abuse, bad words at them and has hitted. What is wrong? Where is the error? Is any word like hitted, putted, cutted? So, I don't have to tell which part. Shall I go to the next question? Hit, all the three forms. Easy or difficult? Raise your hands who has got this one right. I have nothing to say. While I was careful to observe my surroundings, I almost tripped. Underline the word tripped. Trip has two different meanings. Literal meaning, typical meaning. While you're walking, you hit a stone. Then you fall forward. That is known as tripping. Another meaning, when someone drinks a lot, he doesn't know what he talks. That is also tripping. Okay? Not worth remembering. So walking up to my door, since I could not see in the darkness. I'll take each part, I will tell you whether there's an error, no error. While I was careful, nothing wrong. Underline one unit. I was careful about what? To observe my surroundings, nothing wrong. Take that part. I almost tripped. I tripped. I almost tripped. Nothing wrong. I almost tripped walking up to my door. Nothing wrong with that also. Walking where? Up to my door. Since I could not see in the darkness. I could not see something in the darkness. Nothing wrong. So how many of you have chosen no error? Second option. That is the answer. Raise your hands. Good. Very good. I appreciate. Why are you smiling? Okay. Let us go to the temperature sensor is making the computer think the engine is cold, where in fact it is hot. They wanted to confuse, put the words in fact in brackets. You should know how to read the sentence. That is, those words are only to confuse you guys. Try to read the sentence without those words. How does it go? The temperature sensor is making the computer think the engine is cold while it is hot, or whereas it is hot. Yes or no? While it is hot. Better word, contrasting. While has two different meanings. One meaning, it refers to contrast. It is not cold, it is hot. So can you use the word where here? No, that is the error. How many of you have got this one right? Good, I appreciate. 16, windy, impenetrable. Underline the word impenetrable. Penetrate means what? To enter, to be able to go in. Write the meaning. To be able to enter or go in. Penetrate. But here, opposite word. What is the opposite word? Have you copied this? Impenetrable. Forest is a large, primeval, important word. Write the meaning. Belonging to the early times. Belonging to the early times, starting period we use, it goes with a time scale. Have you got the meaning? Belonging to the early times. Forest located in southwestern Uganda in the Kanangu district. So it talks about, it's a bit difficult because of the context. Here you don't know whether underline the word windy, or I don't know how to pronounce also. It is an African term. Also underline Uganda, we all know. Underline which district? Kanungu district. All these we cannot make out. But here it talks about, context talks about a particular place and its forest. Then do you have to use a possessive form or not? Answer my question. Hyderabad's IT sector is doing extremely well. Hyderabad is a place. I say Hyderabad's IT sector is doing extremely well. India's IT sector is doing extremely well. Here this is a place. Then you have to use a possessive case. What is the correct expression here? Let us say B is silent, windy's, apostrophe S. Now read the sentence. Windy's impenetrable forest is a large primeval forest located in southwestern Uganda. Perfect. How many of you chose in second part there is an error? No one. Ah, very good. I appreciate. Not easy. Don't feel guilty. Next one. In his eyes, George is the most faithful developer of Ricardian economics than even J.S. Mill. What is the clue for you? You have to respond this one. Underline the word than. Than goes with which form when you take degrees of comparison? Comparative or superlative? Most is superlative or comparative? So what is the right word here? More faithful developer than.